So can I ask, like, since COVID-19, have you noticed any changes in how the companies you work with are approaching their employee wellbeing strategy?
Yeah, the emphasis come from boardroom, from senior manager now. I think the organizations are quite aware of the challenges for individuals working in this remote environment, especially how drastically it was impacted, and people's setup weren't right, and different things like that. So there's a big I suppose it's elevated the well-being conversation to the boardroom, whereas before I might have lived in a HR function, or somebody who's real passionate about it, or someone who someone who's into their mindset or mindfulness or fitness, who's senior in an organization. Our early clients in the early days were these passionate people who understood about performance and well-being. Now this is actually a need. We actually have a real challenge here to adapt to this environment. And it's not going away for the short term. And there's going to be, and whatever way the future looks, there's always going to be an element of remote working and that environment, I think, in most organizations. So yeah, I think that was the real big kind of driver for this space, and that organizations are stepping up and taking awareness of it. In the past, there might have been tokenism with some of it, but it's really kind of a genuine approach now, in fairness, and managers and senior leaders are communicating, as Eilish said, around being empathetic in your communications, understanding the challenges, showing vulnerability. Like, effective leadership is showing vulnerability, which builds trust, and having trust between an organization and having conversations that's what's magic in an organization. How you actually get to that, you have to, people have to feel like they've been supported, and both financially, because financial well-being is a big part of it, both emotionally, and then also physically as well, is the one that everyone thinks about when you think about well-being. But there's a big emotional play, there's a big resilience mindset play, and there's a financial play as well, that you're fundamentally, we're all trying to look after our families and ourselves and whatever our environment is, and or be ambitious, whatever it is that your motivations are. All of these boxes need to be ticked, and it's coming to the fore.
I think when you talked about communication there, it's a really good point. I think with the coronavirus, communication is a well-being strategy in itself. I think that we see our clients really adopting. They actually know, I need to reach out to my employees to look after them. That's something we're seeing. So they're actually leaning on us more as a communications channel than ever before, because I guess your well-being channel, whatever way you deliver your well-being to employees, tends to be the place where good news lives. It's for your good news update and your supports and your bit of fun. So we've seen more leaders than ever kind of recording clips, using our social feed to get their message out to employees. I think that's been really, really positive. And I actually really think that's something that's going to last beyond this. I think that kind of, that informal communication across the organization.
We're asking our senior leaders sorry, Alicia, just to double down on that. I think you're dead right. We're asking any senior leaders and our clients to have conversations, to do a video and put it up there. Like, a lot of these people, and especially the large organizations, the banks, might have 15,000 employees, they've never seen the boss, never seen the senior leadership team, but now they're talking to them, they're seeing their personality, they're seeing their human side, they're talking about some of their challenges, they're talking about real life, and it just makes you feel, wow, they're open up to me, they're giving me some of their insights, but they're also, I feel I'm part of this team. You know, there's no better way than that communication, to make someone feel part of something, you know what I mean? So you're dead right, Alicia.
Yeah, like, I think comms are huge, and like, I think how you communicate, I think the tone, how often you communicate with your teams, like, that's all going to be extremely important as well to build rapport. And I think if you look at how companies today can increase, say, employee retention by listening to what the actual employee wants, by giving them a voice and not just telling them what they want to do. Like, if you're not clear with your comms and your team, you're on a very slippery slope now more than ever, because like, we need unison in companies and we need to react coherently. And it definitely has to come from the top down, from the boardroom, because I think if you haven't got buy-in at the top, it completely makes sense in how you approach that, because how is it going to filter down into your teams, especially with a huge organization? I think it's a little different when you're maybe an SME of 50 staff or less, because you've less people in the chain of command. But it's still a similar structure. It applies to both SME and to larger companies.
Yeah, I think two words there that jumped out at me from what you said. One was feedback, and that's definitely how both ourselves and our clients or what we've been emphasizing, I guess, at the moment is listening more, listening and reacting. Because I guess if there was ever a time to pivot, it's now. You know, sometimes your budget's entrenched at the start of the year and people tend not to change how they might have been, you know, investing in something like wellbeing or communications. But we've seen people listen to their employees, you know, ask for feedback, listen and react really quickly. I mean, one of the ways we've been working is getting feedback to adapt our content to make sure what we're giving people is really, really relevant to what they need right now. And I think we're seeing the same openness and willingness, I think, from senior leaders.
Yeah, it's. I think the channel works both ways, whereas maybe in the past it just went one way from the boardroom. But I think there's a realization out there today that if you want to retain good people and you want to grow your business, it's about that comms piece.